We are back. Another great week.
Yeah,
weekend.
Yeah.
Another great fight weekend.
Right.
How you doing, LT?
I'm doing great, man.
And you hear my daughter in the background saying hi?
Right.
She's a co-producer to the show, ladies and gentlemen. You know, we're trying to, we're keeping it in the family.
It's a beautiful baby.
Thank you, sir.
Beautiful.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. So how you been, man?
I've been Gucci, you know what I'm saying? Been running like crazy, working, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. You told me you have another gig after this.
That's right.
This filming right here.
You know what I'm saying? But I had to stop by here first.
Absolutely. So let's get right into it. LT, who was fighting this weekend?
Who wasn't fighting?
Say it.
Let's start with your guy, Dominic Reyes.
Wow. I'm looking at the camera. Wow. I want to put clips, but I feel like, the algorithms will catch us putting, clips that don't, not belong to us, but that was devastating. Yikes. It was a very violent fight. I watched it yesterday. I was a bit tired. I'd been barbecuing with family. And then the fights started running in because I started early with the fights from the UK because those had to happen quick. And then that fight right there. What's your take? Because I spoke a lot before I gave my take last week of who's gonna win. But what's your take?
I'm never surprised with the UFC. It's kind of, if you go back to the last broadcast, yes, I mean I deferred to you because you knew your homework on this. But I mean, yeah, just kind of outclassed. I mean, is that too harsh to say outclassed, or because it's just a different pedigree?
I mean, yes. I mean, to be honest, assessing the fight in a fair way, either of them could have taken each other out.
Yeah.
Because Jan, not Jari. Jari looked. He looked the guy who has been in fights more. And then Dominic Reyes had heart. That Mexican heart, you know. And Dominic kind of like staggered him. Caught him with some good ones. But man, that spinning elbow out of nowhere. I don't even think Jari Pojaka knew that he had knocked my man Dominic Reyes out.
Just happened in the flow, just
because you could see his reaction. He was ready for another. Like, when you do your combinations, you're ready for your next move. Like, it's like if you're a basketball guy, you do your one move, your counter, your next move. I think he was going for his counter move, and dude was on the floor, and he turned around. It's like, oh, he's yeah.
Yeah, I think that was too harsh of what I said. Outclassed. He wasn't outclassed, but Projaka was definitely the aggressor.
Yeah.
Reyes was game, but overmatched.
And even taking it farther, we talked about pedigree and, minutes, your hours, those 10,000 hours that you put to your craft, man. Like, there's nothing that substitutes those 35 plus fights that Projaka has had in his career. So
that experience, in the ring experience, invaluable.
And big up to the warrior in Reyes. I mean, he will come back again. This is his first. I mean, yeah, he's had a knockout. I think Jan Blachowicz, I don't know how to say it. Forgive me, my Polish brothers and sisters over there. People that in the fight culture, you'll correct me. But Jan, that was a TKO. It was more of a will type of thing. This one was like
out cold.
Cold.
Yeah, night.
Then who else did we have? What other interesting fights did we have?
So let's start chronologically. Across the pond, we have Parker and Chisora.
Manchester, England.
You watched that in real time.
I watched that in real time. Actually, let me talk about the undercards before we go to the main ones. I watched the Dimitri Bevel versus Craig Richards for, I think, was it WBA? I mean, let me double check on that. It was WBA light heavyweight title. Great. That was a great bout. Of course, the Russian Bevel won from the unanimous decision. All 12 rounds were amazing. It led up to a very great main card for the women. people never talked about this. I just surprisingly landed on that fight, and it was Irish lady Katie Taylor versus Natasha Jonas.
Katie Taylor is one of the main ones.
I did my research, and ladies, I want you to get involved in our show, so I'm going to really focus on, zero in on the ladies that are in the fight game. She's like, I looked at her resume, it's legit, like WBA champ, WBC, IBF, WBO, and she's the real deal in the lightweight division. I mean, it was a 10-rounder. She picked Natasha Jonas apart, and that was that. Moving forward to Chisora Parker. Oh my gosh, what a fight!
Right.
What a fight. We talked. I feel like sometimes you prophesy things. The way I talked about Chisora, right? I said he was gonna get knocked out. But I also gave him his props for his style. He's always pushing the tempo. He's always the bully. He's always moving forward. In this fight, he did all that, and he knocked down Parker in the first round. Of course, Parker won from a split decision, but it's arguable. Last two fights of Chisora have been split decision. He's arguable. Chisora was heartbroken at the end. He's like, what else can I do? I put my body on the line. I do everything. I thought Chisora won. But Parker, it looked like the fit fighter. Looked like the in-shape guy.
Right.
And he looked like the guy who was landing the combinations.
And that's what I took away from it as well. Would you say Chisora was a bit busier? Or
Chisora was more like...
Or was he just the aggressor?
So, like we talked about, he's a brute. So, he was looking for the looping overhand.
Right.
So, his thing is walk you down, fake you this side, and then loop while I'm going down. So, he's looping that right hand, so hoping to land on Parker. And Parker, I give him respect. That Pacific Islander has a jaw. Because he was eating those things, and still, he outboxed Chisora, of course.
Yeah.
But Chisora surprised him. He blitzed him in the first round and knocked him down.
I wanted to see a little bit more from Parker. Just a little bit.
I mean, he's only been bitten by... He's been won by the two best. I mean, Dylan White is one of the most underrated heavyweights of all time. I don't know why he never gets a chance. He's beaten... he's knocked out Anthony AJ in the amateurs before. Knocked him out cold. The video's on YouTube. Go see it.
That's why you don't get a chance.
Right?
That's why.
I mean, but Joshua knocked him out too in the pros. When Joshua was coming up, he had to deal with him, and he revenged that.
He had to avenge that L. Yeah.
Usyk is another one who's good. I mean, anyway, what I'm saying here, Parker has only been bitten by AJ and Dylan White, so I want to see Parker fight more top 5 guys to assess him and make sure he's the real deal.
Chisora, man, he was gassed.
He's the 11th loss. He was gassed.
He was gassed.
He's a big boy. He's like about my size, man. He's about 250, 260 at least.
And
he's in shape, better shape than me. But I'm just saying he's a bigger.
So he's about 38.
38, yeah, 38, 37, 38.
He getting up there.
I mean, he fought David Haye back in 2011. Remember, he had that big media thing where they were throwing bottles at each other.
Which he was in the audience in attendance for the fight. So,
but Chisora's been world champ before. That's why I said he could be turning into journeyman because them L's is starting to add up. But if looking at those L's, man, we talk about his fight with Tyson Fury was a good fight.
He's a gatekeeper. Journeyman is like a couple.
Maybe I listened to that. Maybe I was a little harsh. I was a little harsh with my critique on that. But yeah, he's a gatekeeper.
You got your contenders, your gatekeepers, and then you got your champions.
Yeah.
Maybe proteges or prospects, gatekeepers, and then contenders. Somewhere like that.
And I'm sorry, I respect Chisora. Like I'm still learning the lingo.
Semantics.
Yeah, semantics. But I don't think he's. Maybe the system don't want him to be a contender. I guess he has a lot of split decision losses. So, yeah. All right, so let's go for it, man. LT, who's fighting, man?
Well, we missed one. We didn't talk about Ruiz and Areola.
Oh wait. Yeah. Forgive me, fans. Forgive me.
That was my favorite one to watch this weekend.
Ain't nothing better than two Mexicans fighting, right?
That's right.
It's all heart.
It was like an all Mexican card too, though. Like,
yeah, I was seeing it was at PBC.
Yeah,
it was
PBC.
Fox BBC. I saw some preliminaries, saw some knockouts, but I was seeing them off just glancing because I was busy at a barbecue somewhere waiting for the main fights.
Dang, I forgot about that. Yeah. Oh well, I was busy working.
But
so my takeaway from the fight, first of all, they both looked in great shape. I mean, looked like they went through two exceptional training camps. A lot of hype was being made about Ruiz's new physique. It was a little exaggerated.
From 280 to 250, he lost 30 pounds.
Yeah. Yeah. And
255 to be exact.
You know, and he joined Canelo's camp. So he was under new training. And then, of course, Areola just provided consistency. Surprise, Areola pushed forward in the early stages of the fight. And it was kind of similar to Chisora Parker because Areola dropped Ruiz early. And so
second round?
Yeah, second round. Yeah. Not only that, but maybe third or fourth, he wobbled him and had him he looked like twice in one of those rounds, like he was going to get another knockdown. But somewhere mid-fight, the tide turned and... Well, actually, I said that wrong. Because Ruiz was stalking Areola, and Areola was able to catch him with counters. And then the second half of the fight, it flipped, and Ruiz was relying on his counter punching. And so Areola was pressing forward, and which his trainer said that was the game plan, was to do it that way. But it proved to be in favor of Ruiz because at that point, with those fast hands, he was able to catch him coming in. So,
I mean, we have to say it. It was not an accident that Ruiz beat AJ. I know it was a quick pickup. AJ was planning for Miller. His camp was designed for Miller. He was in Miami. He was doing all this. Let's forget that. Ruiz is a serious contender in that division, and that's why it was a
WBA heavyweight eliminator.
I respect Eddie Hearns for picking that fight and picking Ruiz as a person to walk in because Ruiz is a problem. One thing I have to say that I respect Ruiz for, forget the physique. That boy got cardio.
Yeah.
I don't look at the physique anymore. If I look at people like Tyson Fury, if you look at their body, Andy Ruiz, you get confused. Because when they say being knocked out is based on your cardio or how fit you are, how well your chin is determined unless they catch you flash, and it's one of those punches you just have to go to sleep.
Right.
But Ruiz has done it. He did it with Anthony Joshua. He got knocked down.
Got up.
I mean, he was struggling, but he got up and he fought through that. He did that with Areola. And I think he kind of messed with Areola because going back, I was watching back and forth because I was watching UFC when that was happening. Going back and forth, I was seeing Areola. He was pushing it a little bit and then he stopped.
Right.
And you could see that maybe psychologically showing that Ruiz got stronger after that knockdown, and he was finding different. I mean, we already know that he could find different angles because his boxing IQ is very, very high.
Yeah.
He's a very good boxer.
I heard a saying too, though. I heard a saying that slow feet make quick hands. And Ruiz got some fast hands.
The angles he was tagging dude in, I was watching highlights and I'm like, wow. I mean, he's amazing. And salute to Ruiz. I still want to see Ruiz fight like a Jagba. I want to see Ruiz fight like a Fury. Maybe a Jagba is too early, but I want to... Not Fury, sorry. Wilder.
What about a Parker rematch?
I think they both know how to box. To the person watching, if you're a boxing enthusiast and a fan, that would be chess. But to the person that wants to see excitement, I don't think it's the best matchup for fireworks.
That they last fought 2016. It was a vacant WBO heavyweight belt.
And Parker knocked him down in that fight too.
Majority decision.
Parker knocked him down too. Parker like picked him apart because Parker is a boxer's boxer. He doesn't have power. Okay, he probably knocked my head off, but I mean that division, he's not there to knock you out. He'll pick you apart. He likes to fight from a distance. He likes to use that jab. He likes to use that jab and hook. Like he's that like he's such a good boxer. Ruiz is a good boxer who plays inside, outside. I mean outside he's not because he has short hands. But his inside game is so good that Parker would win that. Parker is just a big dude, good chin. That's why Parker Joshua I thought was gonna be good because both of them are big. Parker's like a 6'3", Joshua 6'6". But it was boring because, you know, Parker just looked like the better boxer, but Joshua had so much size on him that he did exactly what Parker did and tried to mirror him, and he just won that off points. I mean, Parker is a weird. That's why I find him interesting. He's a little guy who's big. He fights. I don't know how to explain that to people that don't know boxing, but he fights in the heavyweight, but his style is for 12 rounds.
Gotcha.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But
he's not a power puncher.
I mean, he's knocked out people before. So I don't want to say that he's a big dude, but like he boxes more. He's not like a guy he'll keep you at bay. He's a point getter. He'll get those points. He's not the guy who's gonna go crazy. Let's move over to who's fighting this coming week. And this is gonna be, from these new episodes, it's gonna be a speed round. The reflections of last fights are gonna be a lot more in-depth and detailed. So let's go with what's happening this coming fight week. And just to get it right, LT, what is the calendar date for this coming fight week? Is it the 8th? Yes.
That sounds right.
No, the 7th. No, wait, the 8th. Yeah, I'm right. The 8th.
Right.
What we got going?
So I'm going to go from bottom to top so we can save that one.
Absolutely.
You feel all right with that?
Yeah.
So we're going to start with Nate Diaz versus Leon Edward.
Yep. Oh, wait. They are fighting on the they're fighting on the 16th, but UFC has like some I went on their website. They don't have to be TBA,
to be announced.
Yeah, to be announced dates. This is going to be on the 15th, but I was excited about that card, and he's coming back for as an undercard for Oliveira versus Chandler. So, but I was gonna, but like let's talk about that. The return of Nate Diaz.
I don't know much about Leon Edward. What can you are you familiar or?
I've seen him fight. I wouldn't say too much about that. I would say he's a number 3 in the welterweight. He's a good fighter. But we're here to talk the fans' language. Mm-hmm. We like Nate Diaz.
Yeah, we do.
Well, no, him and his brother. I mean, they culture, their swagger, the vocab, cannabis advocates, who they are. Last time I seen him fight was with Masvidal for the BMF belt. So he's coming back. He's going to be an undercard for that or Charles Oliveira versus Michael Chandler fight, which is a lightweight fight. To be honest, I think Oliveira is going to win that one, but
ooh.
I think he's going to win that one. Number 3, he's ranked number 3 in that division.
A little bit about Chandler. Chandler has the record.
4th.
I want to say Chandler has the record in Bellator for the most wins.
He does. So, I mean, let's see how that goes. I respect Oliveira, probably one of the most busiest UFC fighters. I think it's going to be his, number 5? How many
30
fights?
And he's 30-8.
He's a busy fighter, bro. So, I don't know. You want to talk about some Bellator? We've not talked about Bellator in our...
Absolutely. These are big names to me. let's start with at the top of that card, Anthony Johnson versus Jose Augusta. I remember Anthony Johnson thinking that, okay, this dude's gonna be a serious problem in the UFC for a long time. But I guess nobody, unless you're at the top, you don't stay there too long in UFC. They just kind of go through you. But heavy hitter, like he's got that chiseled Adonis look, specimen, and you're expecting a knockout when you see him. So much so, Bellator hasn't been that since its inception, but it's more and more calculated these days, more and more tactical. But Anthony Johnson is somebody that I can always count on to give you that excitement for those fireworks. On that same card, we have Michael Venom Page versus Derek Anderson.
Michael Venom Page. UK's finest, man.
You want to educate the viewers about MVP?
I mean, MVP is interesting. Michael Venom Page, very charismatic, into animation, and he's a character. Amazing kickboxer fighter. Ever since he's been victim of some brutal knockouts that kind of like slowed his momentum down, but he's a young man. I was just Googling here his age. He's just my age. He's 34. That one loss, not one loss. It's one loss to Douglas De Lima. I remember that knockout kind of slowed him down, but he was everywhere. He was like a YouTube's phenom.
A sensation, yeah.
But I like him. I don't know why he never crossed over. UFC never brought him. Maybe Bellator gave him back.
Right. He is the equivalent of Israel Adesanya to Bellator.
Yeah, I see that. I could see that. I see that relation.
So they got to fight at some point.
And he's fighting Derek Anderson. Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, for those calls, like we have to call what we have to call. I say Leon Edwards beats Nate Diaz. I say Oliveira beats Chandler.
Ooh.
I say Augusta submits Johnson.
I can see that, yeah.
I say Venom Page knocks out Anderson. Is that fair?
I'll agree with MVP. I'm rooting for Chandler and I'm rooting for Diaz.
Okay. So let's move on to what we really want to talk about.
Yeah, buddy.
The boxing. Let's talk about the number one pound for pound guy right now. Allegedly. Let's talk about that red-haired Mexican boy wonder. Now he's not a boy anymore. He's a man now.
He's a grown man.
But he was boy wonder. He was that guy. He's the beacon of light. Let's talk about Saul. I was going to say Raul. Saul.
That might be one of his brothers.
I'll say Saul. Let's talk about Saul.
He got like 8 brothers that box too.
Let's talk about Canelo. He fights on the 8th.
Canelo.
I'm surprised, because I know he's a Cinco de Mayo fighter.
I guess it's like the closest date to it,
Yeah.
on the weekend.
Yeah. So he has to give you something.
It's Cinco de Mayo weekend.
He's fighting Billy Joe Sanders.
Billy Joe Sanders. And if you go back, I want to say it was our first episode, I said, I'm just happy he's fighting somebody who got a belt.
Okay.
I'm happy he fighting somebody who got a belt. Now, Billy Joe is not to be slept on.
I was hearing that a lot on this build-up.
I mean, we can run through his record a little bit.
Right.
I don't know if there's any names on here that really stick out. Chris Eubank Jr. is a name that people are probably familiar with. Willie Monroe Jr. at one point. So he's got a little bit of a resume.
Yeah.
Let's see. He won the vacant bout against Shafat Sufi. He had a campaign at middleweight too, so
yeah.
That's, I want to say, the vacant. Yeah, I mean, he's ran through some belts. He's
30 pro fights, 30 wins, 14 by knockout. He's legit.
He's got a resume.
He's legit. And I think, do you think this makes a night of fireworks, or is it Canelo picking and choosing what he choose?
Canelo's gonna
Because
box.
I still think Canelo's gonna win, but I just want you to.
Canelo's look great. Okay, for my criticism about his opponents that he's faced, he has looked great in, against who he's fought. This is intriguing to me. I would still favor Canelo. Billy Joe's 5'11". He's got a 71-inch reach.
Mm-hmm.
How does Canelo?
Canelo's like 5'8", 5'9".
Where's he stack up?
I don't
Somewhere
know
in
what
there.
his reach is, but I know he's not the tallest. He's like 5'9", 5'8".
That's the one thing that.
So Billy Joe is bigger.
That's the one thing that sticks out to me is that I expect a lot of jabs from Saunders.
Mm-hmm.
Canelo's 5'9", 70.5. So reach is not that significant.
Yeah. I mean, so I personally, I'm going with Canelo.
Mm-hmm. It's a safe bet.
I'm going with Canelo. I mean, but I respect Billy Joe.
Yeah, I think he's going to provide more entertainment than we've seen in at least for the last 4 fights, because he's just, the last 4, 1, 2, 3, since Daniel Jacobs.
Yeah.
And Jacobs wasn't busy enough for me.
Yeah. Well, with that, ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls, subscribe, add a like, share, put a comment, and just like that.
Do you agree? Do you disagree?
Do you agree? Yeah. And just like that.
Just like that.
It's another episode 5 of Who's Fighting.
Who's Fighting?
Yeah.